All right, okay, guys, listen, Starfield is this close to coming out, and I'm gonna be honest, there's been some gameplay leaks, there's been a lot of details that's come out about this game. I've been holding my tongue because a lot of people have had some fanciful ideas about what this game could be or will be, and I think we're a little closer to seeing what it's actually gonna be like, and some people may really be disappointed. In fact, some people already are extremely disappointed. It all started when this tweet came out showing what it would be like when you land on one of the planets in Starfield and you run in one single direction for as long as you can. Can you wrap all the way around the planet? The answer is obviously no, and it only takes 10 minutes before you'll hit this invisible barrier, unfortunately. So you cannot, just endlessly explore these planets from end to end, and as you can see, this planet is extremely barren and devoid of any life or things to do at all. And so this had a lot of people very concerned, obviously.
How are we going to render a planet, like pull it off for the player? Like, can we? Or do we have to sort of do it where you can't land on all of them, where you're landing in a very controlled, small world space that we kind of craft, and you would have a very limited set of those. Kind of problem to solve in terms of, well, what's fun about landing on a planet where there's potentially nothing? Because there's a lot of planets and moons, if you kind of, right, in reality, that, well, there's nothing on them except resources. And so we spent a lot of time figuring out, okay, let's just lean in on that can be a lonely experience, as long as we tell the player, here's what's there, here are the resources that are there, go find them.
Interesting. So here we can see that when you go to look at a planet before you even land on it, it will tell you if it's barren or not. It will be very obvious that nothing is going to be on it, and we obviously have Todd Howard saying that a lot of the planets, the majority of the planets in the universe, are going to be these barren planets, which is exactly how our known universe works. Now look, not everywhere in Starfield is a barren wasteland and completely unpopulated, obviously, but personally my concerns don't lie with the barren planets or how long it'll take to traverse them or invisible walls at all. This is the thing I'm the most concerned about.
That isn't yours. You're in violation of embassy regs. You're coming with me. Security, we have a hostile intruder deploying. This is murder! You're on your own.
I know that this game has been made on the creation engine, which is what Fallout 4 was made on. But aside from the user interface and obviously some of the visuals, this looks and feels very similar to Fallout 4, with the art style of Fallout 4 and even the weapons and stuff like that. Some of it really translates over to this world. I mean, this pistol looks very similar to the laser pistol in Fallout 4. And this just has me very concerned because, yes, this is a sci-fi space exploration game as opposed to some, post-nuclear apocalyptic whatever RPG, but this is going to feel and even look and probably even sound at times very similar to Fallout 4. It makes me not super excited because I can't say that I love the look and feel of Fallout 4. I liked the look and feel of Skyrim, but there's something about Fallout 4 that it gets old very quickly to look at and to listen to, and even to play. I just feel like I've experienced this before, like these moments I've experienced before already in Fallout 4. Yes, the space travel stuff is going to be different, but when only 10% of all those planets you're going to be traveling to are inhabited at all and have anything to do on them other than collect resources, how much is it really going to feel different than Fallout 4? You know, how much really different is it going to be when the spacefaring parts of it, like, it's not going to be this super detailed, robust experience. Bethesda could put out Fallout 5 and it'd just be a reskin Skyrim again, and it would sell like hotcakes. I promise you that the relevance is not based on quality at all for the general gaming audience. And someone responds, Bethesda's formula isn't based on being cutting edge graphics / story / gameplay wise, but on being approachable to a mass audience while allowing a broad single player experience. It's why Skyrim and Fallout 4 did well, but Fallout 76 struggled. They need effort, just not on graphics. I don't know if I completely agree with that. I think it's an interesting thought to thought process to go down. I think Fallout 76 struggled because it was like an unfinished, buggy, broken mess at launch, and it was that way for a while after it came out too. It's not just because it was focusing on multiplayer as aside from single player, but I think they're right. Like, people don't play Bethesda games for their cutting edge technology and graphics. They play for, you know, these worlds and experiences that Bethesda can expertly craft and appeal to such a wide general audience so well somehow. I don't know, everything about it just feels kind of janky. It just feels a little janky. It feels and looks like a mod for Fallout 4. You know, No Man's Sky has become a spacefaring RPG game that has just transcended what I ever thought could be possible for that game after its horrendous, horrific launch that it had. I really have to hand it to Hello Games for sticking with that project and really making it into the game that it could have been and should have been at launch. And now the game, it barely bears a resemblance to its original launch version. And now, you know, with a game like No Man's Sky, and No Man's Sky is pretty. No Man's Sky has this level of aesthetic to it that's, you know, it's pleasing to look at, it's calming to look at, and interesting to look at. We don't feel like we've been playing and looking at this for years and years and years. Like, we have the creation engine. And, you know, the amount of content that's jam-packed now into No Man's Sky, and being the space game that I think a lot of people want Starfield to be, where you can get in a ship and fly to planets and build these crazy settlements and have crazy cool-looking ships and cool-looking outfits, and this, you know, just experience that's does not seem like is what Starfield is trying to deliver on. No Man's Sky has already delivered and is already delivering on this. Starfield feels like this more nuanced experience, this more handcrafted, tailor-made experience with less of the RNG, randomly generated environments and stuff, and with more on rails, kind of single player, on track storylines and quests and experiences that are just more tailor-made and handcrafted by the developers than like a No Man's Sky is. And they're two different flavors, you know, and I think that people are going to get their hands on Starfield. There's going to be a portion of the players that are going to be a little disappointed by the fact that it's not this complete universe, sandbox, exploratory, sci-fi, you know, fly in any direction, land on anything, build a, you know, all that like open world sandbox stuff. And then there's going to be the people who love to play this sci-fi adventure single player experience that a lot of other games have not really delivered on, this, like, you know, crafting this interesting adventure story in space. Because there's a lot of these other games that we've wanted to deliver on that, like Star Citizen or something, and they still haven't really come through on really delivering that experience. I think if there's anyone that could figure out a way to make the sci-fi adventure experience work and feel complete, it would be Bethesda. I think that trying to stretch their wings and go into this setting and genre of sci-fi instead of medieval and or retro post-apocalypse, I think is going to be really interesting. I mean, this is uncharted territory for them, no pun intended. I do just worry about the level of polish, the overall aesthetic that I'm not really into personally. And that's a personal subjective preference, don't get me wrong, but there's just a lot of things about it that I'm particularly, now that I've seen some of these leaks, now that I've seen some of these details, I'm less hype for the game than ever. Maybe when I get my hands on it, it'll change when you're actually playing it and experiencing it the way it's meant to be experienced as an interactive, game. But not cam rips off of a monitor on a vertical phone on Twitter, but I think it being on Game Pass, I'm going to play it, I'm going to try it, and I'm probably going to talk about it more once I finally get my hands on it. I'm just saying, like, I'm a little less hyped for it. I think a lot of people are a little less hyped for it now that they've seen some of these details come to the surface. I think some people, when we talk about sci-fi, when we talk about space travel, we get very fanciful, big, grandiose ideas of what that'll be like and the endless possibilities that that'll bring. And I think it's not always the case when that is delivered on. And I think, for a game that's coming out on console, for a game that's, it's got to support modding, and there's a lot of these things that they had to consider when making this game. And there's some design decisions that I don't know if I completely agree with, like it being locked to, I think, 30 frames per second and stuff like that. And there's been a big debate about that even, but it's going to be interesting. There's a lot that this game is going to prove about Bethesda's acumen for game development. Are they going to be able to go into this uncharted territory and really do well, or are we going to find out that they're a little more limited in terms of what they can pull off convincingly in relation to the Elder Scrolls and Fallout? I think it's a very ambitious title for them to tackle, and I think the scope is very ambitious as well. And whenever that happens, it's very easy to fall short, or at least to the audience feel like the game falls short. Because like I said, there's this ballooning of expectations whenever we talk about the big exploratory sci-fi games. People automatically, like, their imaginations run wild, and that if that's not delivered on, which it kind of can't be, right? It's kind of impossible to meet those expectations at that point. Then the game feels not as good. I think for the people who are expecting that open world exploratory sandbox, they're probably not going to get it, and they should go play No Man's Sky or something and would probably be way more satisfied with that. But if you're looking for a sci-fi adventure that is more, story driven and things like that, more narrative driven, and more handcrafted as far as the worlds and the story beats and the experience, then this really might be the game for you. Only time will tell, guys, but thank you so much for watching and listening. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, if you want to see more Starfield videos when it comes out, and like the video if you enjoyed. Send it to your friends, talk about it. Let me know in the comments down below, are you excited for Starfield, or are you less excited for Starfield now that you've seen some of these leaks as well? Let me know, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.